Morning. I just had a right job getting in.
What happened?
Internet, I think.
Ew.
I stood there doing keys and flapping about like you do when you can't connect.
Worst thing ever.
There
I
was
was
a buggy
just
yesterday.
Hello? There was a puppy yesterday, was all I heard.
It was a bugger yesterday. The
Oh, a
internet one.
bugger. I heard the word puppy.
No, you can have that one.
Yeah. Go on then.
Hey.
4 o'clock this morning, which was okay for a wee. 10 to 5 for breakfast. But we've gone down to 3 meals a day this week, and he's not happy. So his last meal is 8 o'clock at night, and he doesn't think that waiting until 7 o'clock in the morning is acceptable.
You understand that?
I'm not a breakfast person, so I could go all day without it. Ralph takes after his dad.
Maybe Dad ought to be getting up and having a snack with him.
His dad does. I don't have to get up, but his dad does the getting up because I just can't. Well, I can't carry him downstairs anymore. Obviously, Ralph, not his dad. He's too heavy and too long and too wriggly now. So
We're still talking about Ralph.
yeah. Sorry. See, I still don't have my tooth done.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh God, it's awful. 19th, I'm going to the dentist.
Yeah, got to let the gum heal, haven't you, first?
Well, no, it's only a peg. It's
Yeah.
it just needs. I wanted to super glue it back in, and she's sort of freaked out. Said, no, you can't. What if we need to take it out? We're not going to be able to get it out. You will if you just pull it hard enough.
Yeah, take some of your bone with it, though.
Oh, shut up. Well, Sid had no ill effects from eating the bee. She's a nutter. Why would you do that?
Should we send them all back?
Yeah. Well, she's not under warranty anymore.
Oh, do you get warranty?
Yeah. I think a couple of days.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I've been rubbish.
Right.
Oh, I don't planned anything for today, so we're just going to go with the flow. We're going to see what you fancy. Come up with some.
We've been doing a bit of recall, and there's a field near us that is fairly safe. It's off the roads, it's down a railway, so it's fairly safe, but it does have the distractions. And she'll play with the ball for quite a while, so she'll keep coming back to you with the ball. And then when we notice she starts to get bored and get distracted, she goes back on a lead then. But we weren't quick enough the other day, and she heard something under the hedge, but she couldn't get through because of the chicken wire fence. And she did come back after about 3 shouts, but she did come back. But I've been doing that. I told you yesterday. I've got like, what is it? Where is it? It's this. It's like a duster, but it's not a duster in our house.
Oh, we got one there.
Yeah.
I've got a ball on the end now.
Well, I've got a long one that was supposed to be for Ralph, and I've got this short one that I can put in my pocket. And when she looks, when I shout her and I wave it, she comes running back for it. So we have a little tug, and then it goes back in my pocket. And that, touch wood, has been working, but I wouldn't trust her. She's not to be trusted at all.
Rem's obviously, I've got 3 of them now, and this is the one that we use outside because it's the sheep one. And she,
Yeah.
can you see it? Look at it.
Mm.
A lot to be said for a super toy.
Yeah, they're great.
Well,
Yeah.
it's much more visible, isn't it? I mean, coming back for a treat is fine, but they get bored of the treats. And a pheasant in the ditch is much more interesting than, anything really.
Yeah.
And this is much more visible from a distance. I'm not going to say it's going to work for long term because she just gets bored.
That's why quite a few of them and different types, because when
Right.
Mum fed up with one, because she'll get fed up because this one's the sheep wool one, and this one's great, but she'll get too attached to it, so I've got to swap them round.
Does it get wet?
Yeah, but it's not too much of a problem. It just and I just shove it on the radiator when we get in.
We've got cat training, Julie. You're going to train the cat.
Oh, where's the cat? Who's got a cat?
Judith. The cat's just followed Tilly into the kitchen with Judith.
I like cat training. You've got to be very patient to train cats. I love it.
Do they not end up training you?
Yeah, but if we're doing it right, here's a mind twister for you. If we're doing it right, your dog is training you.
Right. Go on then. Expand.
Well, we have a plan inside our head, don't we?
Mm.
But the dog has to do the behavior or the action in order to fulfill that criteria that we've got inside our head.
Mm.
And the dog only chooses to do that behavior because of the reward or the benefit to them.
Right.
Yeah. So they're the ones who offer the behavior. We're the ones that give the reinforcement. They don't offer the behavior in the first place. You're not training. Yeah. So they're training you to deliver rewards for actions that they do.
Oh, that's too much.
It's definitely what it feels like in this house.
Yeah, but if you're doing that, you're getting it right, you know, because I think as soon as we allow ourselves to go back to the old notion that the dog must do such and such in order to get such and such, then we start adding our own emotions into it. The frustration when they're not doing it right, and start blaming the dog. And it's not the dog ever. It's us, because we haven't made that criteria worthwhile for them, you know, or we've made it too difficult for them. We haven't made it easy enough for them to understand what's required. So all those different little elements feed into it. If the dog's not learning, it's because we haven't set up the situation easy to make it easy enough for them to learn.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, it should feel like the dog's training you, and you as a result should be organizing your life around it so that you're getting what you wanted in the first place. And we're all women. In theory, we should all be really good at this.
Yeah.
You know, my
So
mum said,
suggesting it's their idea
yeah,
in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. I've got that.
yeah. Any other problems then? So I think recall, it sounds like you're doing really well. To be honest, if I took Dodo out where there was pheasants, I wouldn't expect him to be able to hear me at all. What I rely on then is that he's attached enough to me that when he finally decides that he can't catch that bird, because let's face it, most dogs aren't fast enough for a live, healthy animal. But once he finally decides, he's going to start looking for me and he's going to worry that he can't find me. And that experience then of being a little bit worried that he hasn't been able to find me will hopefully make him a little bit more cautious the next time. So my job, if I'm taking him into situations where I feel like I can't control the prey aspect, is I must control the level of danger in that particular context. So I must be aware of where the roads are, or, you know, what the other people or might be affected in that environment before I decide whether or not to let them off lead. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you've got to consider the fact that these are dogs, these are chase monsters. Prey is prey drive, and wanting to chase prey is a major part of their makeup. And if we don't allow them access to a degree of that natural behavior, then we see other unwanted behaviors start to leak out. You know, chasing cats, chasing birds in the garden, chasing squirrels, all of that kind of thing.
She did actually chase a bird yesterday. We were walking down the railway line, so it's fairly enclosed, but there's little gaps into the fields at either side. And she just flew off. And I was like, oh my God, she's gone. And I just sort of, I knew she couldn't get anywhere dangerous. So I'm just going, oh, you know, really light-hearted and that. And she came back straight away. Now, it's a fluke. I'm not saying that you can rely on that, but she did it. And that's a step forward for her. Normally, she's completely deaf and she doesn't give a flying toss where you are at all.
And do you know what works even better, actually, is just going silent. Because if your dog's gone off chasing, from their point of view, they've gone off chasing, they might have that little concern that they're going to lose there. And she's very attached to you. So they might have that little concern somewhere in the back of their mind. But right now, their whole focus is on chasing that thing.
Mm.
When her brain finally starts to slow down from that complete focus on that thing, and she's listening out, if she hears you, that makes her feel safe, that you're still there. What we actually want is for her to go, I lost my people. We've got to find my people. Yeah. And then I start counting, you know. I'm looking for, if my dog isn't back with me within a certain length of time that I think is an appropriate length of time, then I'm going to give them a little reminder of where I am. But it's literally going to be one call. Yeah.
Having the nerve. I've lost my nerve with this because I've never had a dog like her. We've always had boys and they've always been a lot more compliant, whereas she is just her own woman and she just does what she wants.
Yeah. You tell a boy and you ask a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Any others then? So I think you're doing all right. I think you're doing better than you think you are. Really, I do.
It's holding my nerve.
Jill, how are you doing with your lady and her lead?
Some days you think, oh, I'm making slight progress, and then the next day you think, no, I'm not. It's you know, even out in the back garden, I think, was it yesterday I said to you she wasn't very good out in the back garden, but then we took her to the field. She's not allowed to pull us anywhere. If I know it's a situation sort of getting from the car and walking a little bit to get through the fence and onto the field, I'll carry her so that she doesn't pull at all. So the pulling is not coming into her head that's going to get her somewhere. Pick her up and carry her. So we tried after she'd had her run yesterday, and we tried, so she was well away from the car this time. And I found doing the throwing the treat on the floor and saying, what's this, kept her focus when she was walking on the lead. And she was quite good, and we got quite a long way without her going into pull mode. So that seemed to work yesterday. Rather than having the treats in my hand and giving them to her, she liked having them on the floor and having a little bit of a look. So when I looked back and saw how much we'd actually managed to walk with her, it was quite amazing, because normally it's 1 pace forward and 3 paces back. So I was quite pleased with that, because I thought, oh, well, that's quite good. So we'll see how we go with that. But I mean, the other day I tried to take her just round the street with Jim and Archie. We were getting absolutely nowhere. She wasn't having a bar of it. And sometimes she's usually better on the street. I can get a little way. So I just picked her up and I brought her home, and she didn't go out with Jim and Archie, because I'm trying desperately not to have any reinforcement with the pulling at all. So it's going to be a long job. It's
Really
definitely,
well done.
definitely going to be a long job.
I think with her, there's such a big element of anxiety. And I'm just came to mind when you were saying that the what's this and the kind of scatter is working for her. What might actually be working is the fact that she's having to sniff and search, and that sniffing and searching is calming her down a bit.
Yeah.
So you might be having some of that stress relief effect from that. I'm wondering with her whether or not, rather than focusing going for walks, it might be worth going places to just sit and watch and go right back to sort of first basic puppy stuff where she can take stuff in but feel safe. So have her choose, do sniffy trails, not going anywhere. Remember that mental enrichment is always more tiring than exercise, and if you've got somebody that's sort of high energy and anxiety, then exercise can actually feed into that and make it worse. You know, it can make them so that they can't sort of relax and just chill out. Yeah, and don't ever feel guilty about not walking. I think if you are replacing that walk with good alternatives, you know, I wouldn't say keep them at home and do nothing with them. I think that leads to depression in animals the same as it does with us. But you know, there's a lot to be said for a day at home, doing toys and having fun in the garden together.
Yeah, I've got some of those toys that Leanne and Andrea have got. We've got the long one as well. So I run around like an idiot in the house with it, with both her and Archie chasing after me. And I take it outside as well. And we do ball and we do hunt the treats, the sprats. They like doing hunt the sprats. I don't. My hands absolutely stink after I've been handling them. But they enjoy. So we do, and Jim says the house does as well. So we do lots of things. We do different activities every day. So she gets plenty of that sort of stimulation type thing. But yeah, I mean,
down to a breed,
chasing our ball and things when we're on the field and running around with it in our mouth and everything. But yeah, we'll get there.
I think it is down to a breed as well, Andrea. I think you're right.
Is she sniffing because she's sort of fulfilling her what she needs to do as a job? You know,
Well,
that's bred into her.
She likes the sniffing for the treats, but when we're actually on the field and she's chasing our ball and things, she just likes running about, doesn't she, with her ball in her mouth or coming back and having it thrown. Or she likes, if she's dropped it and we try to go and get it, she likes to race and get it before we do and pinch it just as we're about to pick it off and runs off with it. So she loves doing that. And then she'll stop and have a big sniffy session if she's smelt another dog or something. But she does like to just run about as well. But yeah, well, it's definitely going to take time, and we're just going to have to keep plugging away with it basically, and just finding what works with her, and going with that really. But I mean, Julie, you saw that video. She can be as good as gold in the garden, but like I say, she's got her naughty knickers on. That's it. Then you can't do anything with her, and you're better off just doing something positive, and then, you know, just stopping on some sort of a positive note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I think is the biggest improvement, is rather than you having in your mind that she must learn to be brilliant on lead, what's changed is that you've accepted that that's something that's really difficult for her, you know. So that acceptance is going to be the starting point to you growing together from there. Yeah. Anyone else? And or shall I try and think of something fun to do? No?
Just to say, I've made a little bit of progress on the barking. Because I've been working in the front garden. who orders 2.5 tons of compost for top dressing. And because she would go to the gate, bark, bark, bark at anybody walking past. So as soon as she starts in the back garden, just for a minute, and then she comes out, and she's getting the hang that if she does it, she can't stay in the garden with us. So it's definitely improving. Sometimes a dog will go past and they'll bark at her, and that sets her off. But we're making good progress. So it's all these little tricks that you're teaching us that you've got something to draw on. So it's good. Yeah. I wouldn't say she's brilliant, but we're making progress.
And I think the thing is to be very aware that your brain has what they call negative bias. We are designed to remember the bad stuff and to log the bad stuff and to keep hold of it, and not designed to keep the good things inside our brains. So if there's a problem that's still occurring, your brain says it's never improved. Your brain logs it as it's, you know, it's no better. And the only thing you can do to kind of make your brain act differently on that subject is to really notice when things are better, and to really big yourself up about it and really go on about it to yourself or to other people. You know, that's what you're here for. Or to keep an actual record, you know. So it can be something as simple as, for Jill, for example, smiley face on the calendar for that day, for that walking, or a kind of a grumpy face, you know, with the or a proper full-on sad face if it was a horrible day. And then look back at your calendar and keep a record, because what you should, if everything's going okay, you should start to see more smiley faces eventually going on there. But yeah, I'm glad you've seen an improvement.
Yeah, and when somebody walks past and she hasn't reacted, she gets a lot of praise as well. So,
oh, Maria's gone. What's Maria doing?
It's rolling off the floor. I'm trying to catch her. Go on, off you go. Come on, put your feet down. That's it. Off you go. Just laying on her back and she started rolling sideways. I'm trying to stop her from falling. Come on, off you go. Oh dear.
Oh no. Oh, so I haven't I've had such a busy week this week. I haven't really done anything with my dogs. It makes me feel really guilty. Dodo's been out to work a couple of times with Dawn to do assessments and stuff. But other than
Cuddle yesterday.
sorry, darling.
He was nice to cuddle yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he beat up on her much yesterday?
No, they were playing quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So she's due for her proper go at staying, isn't she, without you?
We're gonna have an hour, yeah.
She'll be all right. She'll put her in with gentle dogs.
She's bossy, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
You might not be bossy when you're not there.
Maybe. That's what I'm wondering.
We'll find out.
It's nerve-wracking, but it's worth it. We did it with Ralph a couple of weeks ago, and it helps me as much as it helped it.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's
Mm.
and that's why I don't send Twiggy in there without me, to be honest, because of all her other little issues. You know, I don't want Dawn to be responsible for taking care of her. But yeah, so I'm just as much of an owner as I am a trainer, as far as my own dogs are concerned. Right then, let's do something. Let's get up. I've got a sore knee again. I went to bed early last night. I think I had 9 hours sleep last night. That was like, that's a miracle. I've been averaging 4.5 or 5 hours all week. But now, because I've been laying still, obviously, for a long time, my knee is absolutely caning me. And I haven't taken painkillers yet. So let's just, I've just got up, so everybody's got up. They were all laid down, and now I've got a pile of dogs all around my feet. Oh. Hello, monkey. Hey, monkey. Is it going to be something exciting, is it? Is it? You can't put your feet on me. No. I can't put you down because you should be anyway. There you go. Right then. Ooh, what do we do? Let's do some fun stuff. Let's have you out. Go on. What do you mean no? Go on. Yeah. Oh, does anyone want a dodo? There's no treats in the pot. Right then. Okay, some simple stuff for fun. Going to do twist and spin. So on the low, head all the way out, away from you, all the way in and pay back here. Okay, now I know we've done it, and I know that some of us, Maria, are already complete experts.
Definitely not.
You're going to just, all I can hear is birdies, so I'm going to
No.
mute Maria. That's it. Okay, so starting in a walking by your side-ish position, all the way as far as you can reach with your arm, and then back to that kind of side-ish position. So here, all the way, and then back into like that. So I want you to be able to do it on both sides. He's swinging his bum out. That's it. We'll start there and pay back here. And I'm going to fiddle with him to straighten him up in line with my body a little bit. So I want him straight with me before we start the twist. If he backs up instead of following the food, did you see I just stopped my move? That's all we're doing. Go all the way out there, and he's not straight, so I'm going to fiddle with him, straighten him up before I pay. Start straight, end straight. Okay, that's your goal. See how far you get. Good boy. Nice, Andrea. Swinging a bum out a little bit, Maria. And again, what we haven't got that supporting thing of having an item next to us, have we? So with this, what I like to have is a mirror or something opposite me so I can see. So you can use the camera just now and the video screen to check where your dog's position is in comparison to you. Nice, Leanne. Ooh, and Jill, very fancy. Okay, so you're going the wrong way around, Jude. Yeah, so hand out and around, beautiful, as far back as you can. So really stretch and then bring her in straight, beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. So now we can do moving turns, can't we? If we've got enough room. I'm not sure I've got enough room, but let's have a look and see whether or not I can do it for you. Are you ready? Dodo. So, darling, we're on this side. We're going to send him out, but pick him up on the way back. Send him out, pick him up on the way back. So he's staying on that side, but I'm turning. Okay, so send him out, pick him up straight, preferably before you pay. Fall over on my bed. Send him out, but pick him up on that direction. So he's changed direction and so have I, but we've done it without him having to cross across our body. Yeah, so send him out, pick him up. We've done this one before, but I want you to focus now. The criteria or the tag point is straight with you. Make sure they've committed to that turn before you start to turn your body, otherwise they want to follow. So make sure they're properly in that turn. That's it. Nice. Well done, Andrea. Okay, remember swap hands for your food, Maria. I saw that. Well done. You remembered at the last minute and it still worked. So that's the most important thing. Judy's got it. She's pulling her bum away, isn't she? She's a little bit mixed up, so she's a little bit concerned. And you're turning her into you. I want you to turn her away from you when you start. Turn her nose out away from you. That's it. Turn her, no, you're turning her into you if you're going that way. You're turning her out away from you, and you turn as she commits to that turn. So I'll show you again. Yeah, she's changed sides. We're not changing sides. Let me just show you again, Jude. Okay, so it's easiest to remember if you have a treat in each hand. Okay, so the first treat is going to move the dog forward, out, and bring them towards you. As they commit to that turn, I'm going to turn my body, pick them up with the other treat, and that's the treat that's rewarding them. So I start on the one treat, but I'm going to pay with the other treat. Okay, so he's here. Use that treat to commit the turn. Pick him up with this hand. Here's the original treat. It's disappeared behind my back. Does that make sense? Let's have a look. There you go. So committed to the turn, you join her, pick her up with the other hand. Oh, too late. That's it. So think straight lines. You're going to walk a straight line from us towards the fridge. Yeah? Your dog needs to stay on the same side of the room. They're not swapping across the room. So you turn a little bit, pick her up quick with the other hand. That's it. And you're going on that straight line towards the fridge. So you got it? So when they teach us this in professional classes, they actually give us a line. We're not allowed to step off the line. So we've got to do everything without stepping off the line. We've got to get a dog turned, and we've got to turn ourselves on the same line and then start walking in the opposite direction that we faced originally on the same line. Yeah. Now, just to make it fun, do it on the other side of you. So we're going to prove that we can do that, Dodo and I. Are we going to prove it? Are we going to prove it? So 2 treats. This is cute. There you go. Right, 2 treats. Start on this side. I'm going to turn him out, pick him up with the opposite hand. Yeah? Turn him out, pick him up with the opposite hand. Give me a thumbs up if you get it. Turn him out, pick him up, like this. All right, have a go. So your dog's on the other side that they were on previously. You can prove to yourself you can do it on both sides. Nice, Jill. And Leanne's got it. Fantastic. Sid's getting overexcited. She says, remember the frustration and the overexcitement are as if we're going too fast or we're making it too complicated. So that was just a normal straight twist. Oy, she says. Yay, joiner, beautiful. Well done. Well done, Andrea. And if she starts getting overexcited, there's no harm in giving her a break, letting her calm down. Remember, if we keep pushing, all we get is that continued. Beautiful. Go on then. Sorry, I was focusing on Judith just then.
She doesn't like going the opposite. She's fine doing both sides, but she just doesn't like going that way towards the end of the kitchen. She just
okay, interesting.
She has a mental block that way, but she'll do it both sides coming back this way.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I mean, there's not a lot of room.
Yeah, she I mean, we all develop weird little fears, don't we? My biggest one, it took a long time to get over actually. I had a fear of turning the computer on, which was really hard because I was studying, and so I had to, at the time, luckily I had somebody that could turn it on for me and didn't laugh at me until I finally got irritated enough to push myself through that fear.
What was in it?
Well, sometimes the brain can just glitch for no reason whatsoever. So there doesn't always have to be a reason for a fear. But it can just be, I think, probably it was just the fear that it might not switch on, it might not function properly, and that would make it really hard to do what I was doing. So I think it was the stress of the study.
Can I make an admission here? Nothing drastic. With dog training, I'm really struggling in the week to get started. So
Yes.
It's like I have a mental block of what I should be doing, where I should be doing, how I should be doing. And so each week I'm not practicing like I should because I'm frightened of getting it all wrong, so I don't do it at all.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's absolutely understandable. So the easiest way to get yourself through that I've found is don't train.
Right.
Don't train. Have fun. Okay. So instead, and what I like to do, if you're a coffee or a tea drinker and you make the kettle, you put the kettle on several times a day, then that's a really good time while you're waiting for the kettle, do something fun. And it's literally as long as it takes the kettle to boil, you're going to do something fun. And fun can be some quick touches or some quick twists or some quick, getting your dog lined up straight with you. No pressure. Let's just have some fun. And just that's enough, really, in most cases, for most dogs and most owners, to keep their skills improving. just that little bit of playing at training, no pressure.
I
And
feel if I had like a crib sheet of X, Y, Z, this is what you need to practice this week, I would probably do it.
yeah,
But
See,
if I'm left to my own devices, my brain just goes, shit, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start, so I'll not start, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
and what occurs to me there, and if you're that kind of a person, then I understand that, and I am to a degree as well. I tend to work to a deadline with regards to studying and things. If you're that kind of a person, then it's a nasty thing for me, horrible thing for me to say, because I don't want to say it, but you probably need a different kind of dog trainer.
No, I
Because
don't.
I'm not, I can't be that regimented.
No, it's not. How do I put it? In the puppy class yesterday, I wrote down all that you said,
Yeah,
all the
so
things. Yeah, and now I've got that in front of me that says blah, and I can work from that. And this is so with our teenage classes, I haven't been writing it down, so part of me forgets, so I don't know where to go, and part of me, like the stop thing that who said it? Was it
Leanne
Julie?
used it the other day, didn't she?
Yeah, that was right. And I thought, God, I'd forgotten all about that. That's a really handy one to have. And I'd forgotten it. Now I wish I'd written it down from the start. So I'd got little crib sheets to go, right, I can work on that today. But my brain doesn't seem to retain any information at the minute. I think it's the anxiety. It just, nothing stays in my head. It's either that or the age I'm but I just can't retain anything. So my brain goes, oh, I don't do anything then. But I must be doing stuff inadvertently. Because we do practice like touch and stuff like that. It's just the bigger things, the recall I'm drifting with, as I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's beautiful that you can be honest about it, and and I love that about this group, that we can just be open about the fact that it's not easy. I've seen your dog, Andrea. We saw her last week. We've seen the communication that you've got between you, and the understanding that you've got between you, and the fact that you've got skills with a big Z together. So you're not doing it all wrong at all.
Well, thank you. I just in my
word. Yeah, look, she's gonna bash your ear in, I think.
Oh, who is? Sammy.
I am, yeah, because if you remember on the field, I was giving her, really good treats. You just whistled, she was back to you. And that was in an environment, wasn't it? She was with me, I was feeding her good treats, and you whistled once and she was back.
Which was a complete shock to me, because in the garden here, there was a little dog just before class started down the end of the garden in somebody else's garden barking. She flew down there and I whistled and she wouldn't come back, because obviously the distraction was bigger than the reward.
Do you think as well, because we were all there, your emotion was a little bit different as well to in the garden?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, last week I saw her in a different light, if I'm honest. She popped up those stairs onto those platforms. I didn't ask her to, she just did it on her own. That was the first thing she did. And before in Julie's class, when we were actually at school, Julie had got a platform with a little walkway on it. And I'd said to Julie, my fault, said to Julie, she'll not do that. And I can remember that clear as day. And Julie said, give her a chance. And she did it. So now I'm trying to
that goes back to giving Sid the choice.
Yeah.
And you being confident in Sid's choice rather than you trying to make her do it. Am I right, Julie?
I'm just writing a little chat message. So It's a thing called a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't believe that your dog can do something, or you don't believe that you can do something, it's going to come true.
Definitely.
You know, it just does. You set the universe inside your own head, and if you've already said to yourself, this isn't going to work, you're going to be right. Yeah. So it is allowing, like Sammy said, it's allowing that flexibility in your own mind in order to allow the dog to prove you that they can, and allowing yourself to believe that it's possible.
Julie, have you disabled chat for us? Because I can't chat. It just says chat disabled.
Right. Allow, oh, maybe.
Oh, there you go. That's
Oh.
it.
Solely.
Because there's a saying that says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're going to be right.
Yeah, absolutely. That is it. That's your self-fulfilling prophecy.
From dog training in the unit, your words really stuck with me that day. I don't think you're not the right trainer for me, because they do, some things stay in my head. And then when we went last week, I thought, I'm just going to let her find her own way and make her own choices here. And she popped straight up on that. All right, the tunnel was a bit more scary for her, but she did it a couple of times, thanks to Sammy. And she did, but that was something to work on. But she amazed me last week. She was a different dog, and I was probably a different person.
Yeah. I think we need to do more of them. And Dawn and I were on about, we want to trial the local fields anyway, because I need places that I can suggest for people to go to. So I think.
Oh, Leanne.
Definitely want to do it. Oh, what are you doing, Leanne?
Yeah.
So basically, I've spoken to my father. We have got the paddock rented out this year, but next year, my father has said, I call him father because he's been annoying at the minute, but he said that yes, we can put up a big gate, and we can also sort the holes out, and he's saying that we might be able to do it properly so that way it can become a dog field, because he thinks there's quite a lucrative business in it, because I showed him everything. So my business proposal has gone through for the moment.
Fantastic. Well done.
So we'll be referring people to you then. That'll be fun.
If you want.
I think it's going to become a thing, because I think that the UK is going to go down. We usually follow America at some point. And I think because of all the dog issues at the moment, it is going to get to the point where dogs have to be on lead in all public areas. And I think that therefore dog fields will become very much a thing, which I think is a shame. But yeah, I think the more good ones we can get going, the better. My concern is that quite often the American style has been that they've been spaces that are open to the public with dogs that are not well cared for and not sort of manned and not paid for. And there's been quite a lot of issues with dogs just learning to aggress against each other without, any supervision. So that is my concern. But my absolute dream with this thing was always to open a sort of a health spa for dogs, which would also include a big walking area, so that people who had already sort of got membership and proven that their dogs were dog safe could then use this open walking woodland field area. God knows, I need a millionaire, or at least, a billionaire probably, to be able to do it. But it would be everything grooming and shops and just basically dog heaven, dog owner heaven. So I need the safety of knowing she's safe, and once that's established, I relax. Yeah, absolutely. You will, and we all act differently, don't we, when we feel safe? Yeah, and she will follow. Your dog definitely, she's very attached to you, so she will pick up on your vibes. Anyway, shall we do something else? Because we're sitting again. You're very good at this. It's like, I used to have this French teacher, and we used to get her into conversation about her cats. And if we managed to get her into conversation about cats, we didn't actually have to have a French lesson, regardless to say I failed French with that lady where I was doing really, really well with it previous to that. So anyway, well done you lot. So you've done turning you, so you're walking the straight line, yeah? Turning yourself, so you're walking one direction on that straight line, and you're turning and you're walking the other direction on the straight line. How's about swapping the dog, but you stay in the same direction? How are we going to do that? There's a couple of methods. You can either swap them behind you. So again, treating both hands. So we're moving, we're going to practice swap and move at the same time. Or what I think is much more complicated but much more fun is swap them as you're moving in front of you. And that's where your twist comes back in again. Complicated? All right, so we're here. We're going to take the dog's nose, but I need to keep moving, yeah? So I'm taking him far round, but back in towards my leg. That way, beautiful. And then obviously being able to do it on the other side. So I'm going to swap him round and twist him back in. So he's crossing my front. I find actually when I'm doing it, once you've got it practiced, I find it easier to do the crossing front than I do to do the crossing back. And I don't know if that's just that I don't practice. Yeah, because he can do it. So we go back here. I'm starting with the dog that side, but I want him to come this side. So I'm going to cross him and twist him back into me. So that bit goes quite fast. He's come to here. I'm going to swap him and twist him back into here. Does that make sense? Not easy. So feel free to faff about with it to begin with until you figure it out. Let's have a look what this chat says. So yeah, so we're turning inwards, yes. Yes. On that last little bit is a turn in towards you. Let's have a look at the gallery view. So cross your hands over. So you've already put them onto the other hand to move them back around you. Nice, Andrea, well done. And Maria, beautiful. And Judith, that makes more sense to you, I think, than the other one. The idea of moving your own body round is more tricky. Jill's got it. Okay, so cross your other hand over to get them back onto the other side. Cute. I like the little jiggly run, Andrea. Love it. That's it. And Leanne's got it. See, and I thought you'd find this harder, but actually it looks like most of you are finding it easier. Okay, and if you've got the turn, then you can change your tag point to straight again, so that when you're paying them is when they're straight in line with you and you're walking together again. Beautiful, Leanne. Got loads of big noses in the way, Maria. I got a big view of them. All right, should we try the crossing back then? All right, so remember with the crossing back, again, you're working with 2 treats. The dog needs to know which treat you're functioning, so we need to make it really clear to them. We're starting on this treat here. I'm swapping my hands behind me, and I'll show you from the other view at the minute. So here we are. We've got this treat working at the moment. We're going to swap behind So I'm taking my both hands together, but I'm making sure I catch that nose before I'm making sure the dog's committed to that other hand before I continue. Waving, 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 waving.
This is something that we do when we're out on walks anyway. I do it,
Yeah.
she does it without treats. I just, you know, whatever side, when we're walking along the path, so she's not on the roadside, I'll just go this side and she'll just go behind me and go on this side, or vice
Beautiful.
versa.
Yeah,
So it's something she does anyway without even being treated.
this we like. And I do like to get it onto the hand indication quite quickly and away from the treat. But the reason I train it is because passing other dogs and other people in traffic, like you say, choosing where the safe position for your dog's going to be, which is one of the reasons why it's never made sense to me to only train your dog on one side.
Yeah.
No, it made sense to get them relaxed on both sides and comfortable on both sides.
Yeah.
Now, the awkward bit comes in when you add a lead to this situation, doesn't it? Especially with these twists and things. And you've got to maneuver food and leads as well. So if you think you've got it and you think you're dead clever, see if you can add a lead to that twist. And let's do the one where you're changing directions, which is the harder one apparently. All right, so I'll do it because, you know, no point being a trainer if you can't show that you can at least have a bash at it, eh? So here's me Dodo. Hello, me monkey. Yeah. Good boy. And my tweets. And I'm going to do that one where I turn and pick him up. Yeah. So we're going to go. Yeah, my lead's in my way because it's that hand and he's going to be upset about it. So we're going to have to swap leads when I'm turning the other way. Okay, so I've just learned that for myself by trying it. So when I know that I've got to turn him, if I'm trying to take the lead and the treat together, can you see that makes it awkward for him? So I need to get that lead out of the way. Yeah, so have a play with it. And this one, we're turning our body. So they're only doing a half turn. We're turning so that we're going in the opposite direction. So things I'm looking for with this is that I'm not restricting the dog's turn, that my lead isn't getting in their way. It's not going tight. I'm not using the lead at all to guide them. It is their choice of free movement. Come on that way. So I'm not risking dropping the lead. Okay. And that obviously I can. And it does it every time we change something small, the dog finds it's not the same. To them, it's a big change, even if it to us it's a small change. So you can see, Jill, that she's reluctant to turn because we've changed something. And even though she was doing really well with it before, she said, I can't do it now because there's a lead on. Yeah. So that's beautiful. So she's comfortable just turning herself. Now see if you can do the half turn and you turn to catch her. So you're catching her on the other hand. Yeah, so remember with the half turn, we've got the dog on one hand. We're going to turn them that way. Yeah. What are you doing? Come here. Turn that way. Good boy. And we're going to catch them on the other hand. So we're turning our body. Good man. Come here. Good lad. I know. Oh, what are you sniffing? Oh, the fishy. Okay. Nice, Leanne. Yes, Jill, well done. Oh, squeezy that. Shows your teeth. 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 Right, beautiful. We've just been playing a game with Dodo. He's up here. Mouth handling. It's something I strongly believe in as a veterinary nurse, is to be able to just handle your dog's mouth in lots of different ways. So you can have a look at their teethies and you can get your fingers in there and get a good look at the back of their throat and just mess about with their faces. And he's dead pleased about that. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I do have to go, I'm afraid. So we'll just have a quick say goodbye and have a chatty chat and see. And I'll apologise again for a rubbish lesson, for lack of preparation, for no notes, all of the above. And thank you very much for being just wonderful, all of
That was a
you.
great lesson.
Yeah, I loved it. That was really good.
Yeah, can you see doggies? Can you? Shall we see if they can all smile at us? Is everybody able to handle their dog's mouths yet without them getting stroppy?
Mostly.
We're working on that this week. We've been working on it because I've got some, they're like pads that you can clean the teeth in. You put your finger in them, not a toothbrush, they're just like little pads and you just wipe. And so I've been trying to get her to smell the pads and stuff like that. And then we're working on trying to lift her lip up.
Yeah. Okay. So think about, we were talking about plans. We were talking about planning, training sort of things. Come here. Where I would start my stage 1 would be, can your dog rest a hand in a chin in your hand? And if they can, deliver a piece of food to them. Okay. So I wouldn't, this is an awkward position for me for filming. It wouldn't quite look like this, but will you just let me hold your nose?
Right.
You let me, first of all, it's chin in hand, and then it's whole nose. So I'm not holding it tight, but dog needs to be relaxed to be able to do that. And then it's gentle lip touches before you treat. So the treat's no longer in this hand, but it's close enough to go and get it quickly. Yeah. So gentle lip touches and treat. And then my next stage would be properly going underneath the gums, treating.
Yes.
At which point you could then start to introduce your pad. Once we're comfortable just with fingers going under, touching the teeth, we can introduce the pad. And I like to extend it to full on stretching lips back, and you've seen I like to get the whole process really comfortable for the dog. And of course the dog's always allow them to choose. If they need to pull away, if it's uncomfortable, then that game stops. You know, you go back, you add more steps in if you need to, so that the dog.
That'll be my plan for this week. So next week I will show you I can do that.
I want a video, and it doesn't, again, there's no pressure here because it's got to be the dog that dictates the stage that you get to. But I want a video of mouth handling.
Okay.
From each of you, all of you, not just Andrea. Let's put the pressure on. Okay, get a really good view, get really close to your camera so we can get a view of the dog's mouth and what your hands are doing. And we'll see how far we can all go. And there's no competition here, because if I see your hands being forceful or your dog struggling away and you pushing it, then I'm not going to be impressed. I want your dog going, I love having my mouth handled, I like it, and then let it happen.
Okay.
All right, there's your goal for this week. It was just a quickie, wasn't it? I can also, if you get beautiful videos of doing twists and turns, if you like Maria, just because she's already good at it, what about you prove that she's good at it in more difficult situations and more difficult environments? So maybe walking through crowds and things. Yeah.
Bit tricky in some accounts. We don't have any crowds in some accounts.
There's always an excuse, isn't there? Always an excuse. I'm not going to do the training because I can't find.
Probably one person when I'm walking around the village.
Want to clean up, so you'll find plenty of crowds here, especially if the weather's nice. You won't have a problem. Just go down the prom, no problem. Loads of people.
I don't see a soul. If I can go, I could walk 6 miles of an evening, and I'm looking past 2 people down our roads and lanes. It's got cars going past, but people
Where do
very
you live?
rarely. In Suffolk, in North Suffolk. Front, if I go down the front street, I rarely go down the front street, but I go down the front street, and if I meet 4 people, that will be it.
I need that line.
And that's all different times of the day. It's not just early mornings or it's yeah.
Where are you, Leanne?
I'm in the right bang centre of Grimsby
Oh,
on Wick Road, and I hate it. I just hate the area.
Well, I hate living in Cleethorpes as well because it's so busy. So there's 2 of us. I would love to go out to Summer Copes
No,
and not come across loads of people.
we
Oh,
nearly.
It's snowing.
Yeah, it was snowing here earlier.
Yeah.
How lovely. Like, not on me, Nick.
I think we all ought to go down to North Summercoats, didn't we?
Yeah, you come here.
We can do little. You see, the thing is, once I'm in the hall, or if we can find a decent higher field, Leanne, regularly, then we can practice. And we started, didn't we? We started doing the turns and passes and things in class.
yeah.
So I really like that. I like what they call it, pattern training. Basically, you're doing the same pattern over and over until the dog and you are proficient at it. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was fun.
We've got snow.
Yeah, I had a bit just now. I'm going to the unit. I'm there at the unit doing one-to-ones. It'd be for easy. At least yesterday I could get in the car and sit for 10 minutes and warm up again because the car was boiling because the sun was shining on it. But yeah, I'm gonna put all me, I don't know now, the sun's come out. I'm probably gonna put all my layers on anyway. So, I love you, as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.